If your mind was as efficient as your lungs in taking in what it needs and discarding what it doesn't, you would be invincible. Leo Lourdes.
Hi, bestie. How you doing?
It's allergy season here in Florida, so I'm living
is.
my life.
A little bit of stuffeliness.
Just a little.
This is why I take an allergy pill every single day, all year round.
Yeah, I gotta add that into my routine.
But also because I'm allergic to my 5 cats.
Yes. It's a big allergy you got there.
You know. I love my babies. I can't.
Are you an allergen? Yes, you're an allergen. You're such a cute allergen.
Maddie might be very distracted by cats this recording.
It's not my fault. Your social ambassador, Neelix, is very needy today.
He is. But he always is.
Yes.
But we're actually here to talk about Eureka.
We are, and I'm very excited.
Yes. Season 1, Episode 5, Invincible. It aired August 15th, 2006. It was directed by Michael Grossman. It was written by, of course, our creators, Cosby and Paglia, as well as Dan E. Fesman. So let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
We're going to start with Stark and his artifact.
Yes.
He's dreaming about it. It haunts his dreams, and he is obsessed. That is like my main note for this very opening scene.
You can tell it bothers him. It's all he thinks about.
Yes. Which might be why he and Allison are getting divorced.
Yeah, we talked about it last episode. He's very focused on his work.
Too focused to sustain a relationship, I'd say. But that's a really short little cut scene. And then we go to the sheriff's office, seeing Jo painting.
Yes.
She paints.
She does. I love that we got that little insight.
I have a little heart next to that in my notes. I love that insight into Jo's character. And the sheriff is sheriffing.
Yes.
As he states when Allison comes in.
He's very busy.
And he doesn't want to get a physical done, which he needs to get done so that he can get insured by Global Dynamics.
Yes. He is a little baby about getting his physical done.
Well, and superstitious about it.
Yes.
Because as soon as you insure a cop and he dies the next day is what he says.
Yes.
Which, yeah, superstitious, Carter, but he contends it's not superstitious if it's true, and it is.
Yeah, he's not superstitious. He's just a little stitious. That was for you.
I like that.
What's that from? That's from something.
I have no idea, but it does sound familiar.
I'm gonna have to look that up later. Just a little stitious.
Just a little stitious. But he doesn't want to get the physical, and he says that he's in great shape.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed, Carter.
Yes.
Agreed.
We have seen proof. Excellent shape.
Yes. You are, in fact, in great shape. So you shouldn't be afraid of this physical because you're gonna pass.
Right.
Just saying.
Not that a physical's pass or fail, but...
But he keeps trying to tell Allison how busy he is. That's why he can't do the physical.
Very busy.
While he sharpens a pencil.
Yes.
And
Jo paints.
Jo paints. And painting her sunset scene. Then Allie wants him to strip.
Yeah, just straight up tells him to strip right in the sheriff's office.
Yeah, okay.
We'll allow it.
You need to listen to Allison more there, Carter.
Yeah.
Please.
Take instruction well.
Jo is amused by this, though, but Allison was a doctor, we find out.
Yes.
In her past.
In her previous ventures.
But, okay, so if you were a doctor, why don't you you're a doctor. Why don't you go by Dr. Blake?
Right. That's a very good question.
But I suppose she doesn't care that much. But as far as I know, like, anybody that has a doctorate in anything, especially a medical doctor, like, hangs on to that title because you earned it.
Yeah.
As you should, but you earned it.
Right.
So
if I had a doctorate, I would absolutely be Dr. Copeland.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Even if it were like a doctorate in surfing.
Yeah.
You know, like,
right.
I don't care what
I earned this.
If you earn a doctorate, you hang on to that title.
Absolutely.
But they get a call then from Carl Carlson, which is the perfect bell for Carter to be saved by.
Yes.
He
Oh, look at that. I gotta go.
gotta go, gotta leave, hurry. And then so he just nopes out and we head to Carl's house. My note here is Carl wouldn't shake hands even before the global pandemic.
Mine was it's giving Adrian Monk.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, and yeah, I mean, he seems to be a bit obsessive compulsive and germophobic and all
Unlike
that.
your cat that is currently licking my jacket.
Yeah, yeah, he does that. Neelix is definitely not germophobic.
I'm getting fully groomed by your cat right now.
That's because he likes you. Carl is ahead of the curve, not shaking hands, but he's also a germaphobe. He needs Sheriff Cobb, but Carter still is not Sheriff Cobb.
No.
And then Beverly shows up, dumb Beverly.
Well, he needs him because he needs a ride.
Yes.
Because driving makes him anxious.
And he's got a big, big day.
Big day.
Big, big day. And so Beverly arrives because she's his therapist.
And of course she's there.
And she's dumb Beverly, I hate your stupid face. And Sheriff Cobb used to accommodate Carl by driving him all the time. Beverly convinces Carter that he needs to drive him and convinces Carl to go with him by saying that he's a U.S. Marshal.
Yes. Yeah. That's what won him over.
Yeah. Well, and that he would run the lights.
Yes.
But not the sirens.
Never the sirens.
Not the
sirens. And I get that. That's relatable.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like I'm in a hurry, but I don't want to be overstimulated, you know?
Right. The sirens are loud and stuff. Carter drives Carl to Global Dynamics, and there we are, Global Dynamics. Stark is over Carl.
Immediately.
Like 100%, just like obviously
Wants him out.
He's been dealing with him for 6 years.
Yep.
And his experiments are not producing any results.
Correct.
I don't think for Stark it's about his obsessive compulsive or his weirdness. I think it's mostly just he's an employee of mine and he's not doing anything.
And there's a lot of exceptions and a lot of accommodations that have to be made.
But I think more than
no results.
Yeah, exactly. I think more than the accommodations, it's about the lack of results.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Stark. Carter wants to just kind of leave Carl and be done with it. But then when he sees Allison coming, he wants to avoid the physical even more, so he just goes with Carl.
Oh yeah, it's just here, gotta go. I got work to do.
I love the science. Let me help you.
I love science.
So we get to Carl's lab, and Carl is doing his little experiment, 1 drop only.
Which cracks me up at how anxious he was about the 1 drop only thing, because that's literally what that dropper is designed to do.
Right.
Like, it won't accidentally do 2. Like, that stopper is made specifically to just dispense 1 drop. And you can set it for, like, how big the drop is, but it won't dispense anymore. So the amount of tension in that scene of him trying to just get 1 drop, that's the whole point of that device.
I didn't even know that was...
Oh, yeah. That scene,
that
like,
specific device.
Both times I watched that scene, I was like, it's not... Why are you so stressed? That's what it's for.
Because Carl's a very stressed out person.
That's true.
But I get where you're coming from. Like, you used this instrument for this purpose. You should be able to just go bloop and be good.
Yeah.
But also television, so tension.
Right. Gotta have the tension.
But then, of course, little Mr. Chameleon, who's amazing, and I love him. The chameleon. He's pretty. He distracts Carl, and oops, stuff happens.
Uh-oh.
Explosions. And then we get credits. Yes. So, of course, we end on the explosion. We get the credits. And then when we come back from credits, we're back in the lab. The explosion has finished. Carl's going to be fired.
He's in trouble.
His lack of results plus explosion pretty much means fired.
Yeah. You're done. Last straw kind of thing.
Yeah. And Eureka can't do anything simple.
No.
So these documents need to be signed, and Allison starts explaining everything that happens when you get fired from Global Dynamics.
Yeah, basically you get disappeared.
Yeah, you get erased. You get totally erased from the town, but you get new credentials.
Right, you get like an entire resume with references and
a plausible way that you have spent your time over the last
Yes.
6 years.
Yes. Like a government project, I think is what it said.
Yeah. But everything is being taken.
Yes.
Everything, down to his clothing.
And
And
his
they give him a
phone, and
robe.
yes.
So he's obviously, can you imagine, like, just even without having something like obsessive compulsive disorder or any other kind of mental capacities, can you imagine just going and everybody, your entire life being stripped from you?
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
And so obviously, Carl's stressed,
Very.
very stressed out, as he should be.
Yes.
But of course, Beverly, his therapist, is not returning his calls because
But
she's a trash therapist
she's terrible.
and a terrible human being.
But
Because
the
she's,
sheriff has offered him a room in his
yes, hermetically
hermetically
sealed
sealed
bunker.
bunker.
Yes. Because Carter is a wonderful human being and Beverly is trash. So she doesn't give a crap about him anymore because he's not useful
Right.
to her. So yeah, some therapist you are. Carl has a lot of paperwork to get done and offers his hermetically sealed bunker to stay. And of course, Carl jumps at that
Yes.
because hermetically
Hermetically
sealed
sealed.
is the key words.
Yes.
Yes. Allison ambushes Carter with a portable physical
Yes. Just
that
slaps it on him.
that will just keep track of all of his vitals all day long. And there you go. You can't avoid it now.
Which is kind of funny that, like, when this came out, that technology was so unheard of that it was sci-fi, and now we have wearable
Yeah,
technology that would do that anyway.
right. And
That's accessible, I should say.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have a friend that just did a sleep study at his own house
Right.
with, I guess there was some sort of laptop or machine or something on his chest while he was sleeping, but he could do it right there at home
Mm-hmm.
without having to go to a facility to
Right.
do
And I mean, think about your thingy.
it. My thingy,
Yeah, your thingy.
my insulin pump.
Not the pump, the other one that
Oh, the
monitors.
Dexcom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's literally just slapped on you, and
Yeah.
it tells you all your numbers.
Reads all my blood sugars all the time, which I should check that. I had breakfast this morning. I'm doing great. So yeah, so she slaps on the portable physical and away she goes, making jokes about it as she leaves, as she does.
As she does.
And then we get to Beverly's office, who is blatantly ignoring Carl's phone call, like listening to the message as it is being recorded.
And she's unfazed.
And she doesn't care
Mm-mm.
because she's not a therapist. She's an evil schemer. And she's talking to some ominous Star Wars hologram guy.
Yes.
I was just waiting for Princess Leia to come on and say, "Your only hope."
Me, Obi-Wan. You're my only hope.
No, there is another. But a new target has been acquired, she says.
Yes.
Who is said new target? I don't know if we ever even find out in this episode.
We don't.
I don't think we do. I mean, it kind of flashes the very next thing after she says a new target has been acquired. You see Fargo on the screen, so that might be kind of a misdirect. Like, ooh, Fargo's the new target.
Yeah.
But he just walks into Stark's office because Stark sent for him. Like, this isn't. I don't think Fargo is the new target.
You're not gonna read into what you're saying right now.
I figure it's just a misdirect.
Okay.
Anyway. So we get to Stark's office, and Stark puts Fargo in charge of the explosion investigation. And Fargo is so proud of himself for that.
He gets to do things.
He's being trusted with things.
I will say he's growing on me.
Isn't he, though?
Yeah.
He's smart in his own right, and I think people just underestimate him a lot.
Yeah.
So then that's a very short scene, and then we go to the smart house to Sarah. Zoe is studying, and Carter tells her that they would have a house guest, and she assumes that it's a woman.
Yes.
But
she
is
says
it
Allison
or Joe?
or Joe?
Yes, because she and Vincent, of course, Vincent, the town gossip, have a bet.
Yes.
And I didn't catch what she said. I know she said, if I win, he has to make me breakfast in bed for a month, and if he wins, something. I couldn't catch. I watched this episode like 3 times in the last 2 days, and I still could not catch.
Well, let's use the magic of editing and let me scrub through this.
Okay.
And she says if he wins, she's gonna wait tables for him.
That's what she's saying. Yeah, she kind of mumbles it, and at the same time, Jack is asking Sarah for a beer, so I like never caught it. I couldn't understand it as hard
Yeah.
as I tried. But of course, Jack is like, stop betting on my love life or lack thereof. And Carl calls, but Carter kind of knows the signs
Yes.
and kind of figures out pretty quickly that Carl is in a bad place
Right.
and he's cleaning the Da Vinci Bridge,
Mhm.
and that should not be happening.
No, why would he be cleaning a bridge?
Right.
Like, we know he's going to clean things, but why would he be cleaning the bridge?
Right. But Jack puts it together pretty quickly that Carl's about to hurt himself. And so he rushes off because he's good at his job and he cares about humans and he's a good person.
Okay, but what all I could think about in that, like, as he's rushing off, is how inconvenient it is to be like, Sarah, door, in an emergency.
Right.
Like, I just picture him yelling that but not getting it out in time and him running into the door.
I 100% would.
I know.
I-
So would I. And
I-
that's why I was like, oh.
I don't even like automatic doors at the grocery store.
They're not fast enough.
Exactly. I walk too fast. You know how fast we both walk.
Yes.
We both are fast walkers, just naturally.
I hate having to pause my gait to go into a store.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I'm always afraid that I am just going to bonk my face right into those doors. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it has happened. So
Didn't it happen recently?
Oh, I don't even know. Maybe. But usually when I'm going through those doors, I'll put my hand out in front of me so the sensor sees my hand first
Smart.
and will open. So I always feel like I'm using the force every time I'm going through those doors because I walk too fast. Yes, Carter runs out, says Sarah door, manages to not run into the door, and runs out and heads to the Da Vinci Bridge. Carter arrives at the Da Vinci Bridge and is trying to talk Carl down
Yes.
because Carter is a good human being. And he joins him out on the ledge because it's kind of like getting on his level, seeing eye to eye. You know, I think that is an attempt. It's a good attempt.
You jump, I jump.
Yeah, it's a good attempt to kind of make Carl feel like he's a friend and
Yes.
that he's trustworthy.
And he's not alone. He asks him to get a beer.
Which was real cute.
So cute.
You think we can be friends?
That's what the beer's for.
Oh my gosh. I mean, how often has that really been the case?
Oh,
Like,
so many times.
You interact with somebody at, say, the office or somewhere for work or something, and you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot stand this person. But then you get to a party or something where there's a little liquid encouragement, maybe,
Yes.
and suddenly it's like, oh, I like this person.
I
you
can,
know?
or like I can be
Or like
around this.
we can
person.
hang out. You know, not
We're
maybe
not
not we're
gonna
gonna
be
be besties.
We're not gonna have a podcast about a sci-fi show, but
Mhm.
like
But we can hang
we'll
out.
be alright.
Yeah. But oh no, they slip and fall, and of course they slip on Carl's cleaning rag because it's like your obsession leads to your destruction.
Yes.
Kind of
Live by the
theme.
sword, die by the sword.
Yes, and here we are. So they fall.
Yes.
They fall a long way.
50 feet.
50 feet.
It is said later.
Yeah, but it's a long way.
Yeah.
So, but of course they cut to commercial right there because that's how Eureka do.
Yeah.
And then when it comes back from commercial, you see Carter laying prone on the ground, and then you just see two arms push
Just
him up
Push him off.
and off of him, and that's Carl. He lifts him off. Carter landed on top of Carl. Carter, this is gonna get really like
It's-
tongue twisty.
Yes.
Carl lifts Carter off. He landed on top and kind of runs away. But I feel like he's disoriented and just doesn't know what to do.
Oh,
so I feel
absolutely.
like
He's
if
in
he,
shock.
well, yeah, if he wasn't in shock, I'm sure he would check Carter and call for
He
help.
did check and make sure he had a pulse.
Right, but call for help maybe.
Right.
But poor Carl
He
just
was-
fell 50 feet.
Right. And then got up and walked away.
and was landed on top of.
Yes.
Yes. So
Quite a feat.
and then got up and just wandered away, disoriented. And Allie sees Carter's vitals go crazy on his portable physical, so thank
Mhm.
goodness for this portable physical. She calls him going, are you okay? What the heck had just happened?
Still taking stock.
Yeah. Then we head to Henry's garage.
Yes.
Carl needs to talk to Henry like right away. I don't know about what, but Carl needs to talk to Henry. And doesn't want Henry to touch his head wound because gross garage fingers.
Yes.
Which, even not being a germaphobe, that makes sense.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, you've been working in the garage all day. Don't touch my
Yeah.
open
Please
wound.
don't put motor oil into my skin. Thank you.
My open wound here.
Yes.
And so he goes back to the sink and watches his head wound heal
Mm-hmm.
in the mirror. Trippy.
Super creepy.
Then he, like, nopes out of there. So back at Global Dynamics, Fargo reports findings to Stark, something with Section 5, but Fargo doesn't have access. We know what's in Section 5.
Stark's obsession.
Stark's obsession, the artifact.
Yes.
So, as viewers, we're kind of like, what's happening here? And then we go back to Henry's garage because everyone goes to Henry. Everyone,
would.
like, anyone has a question, they go to Henry.
I would.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
When Carter is talking to Henry, asking, what are the odds that hypothetical guy gets up and walks away after a 50-foot drop? Henry says a bunch of probability statistics things that I didn't understand and tried to look up and didn't understand what I was reading when I looked it up. And so I'm putting it to you, Maddie. Should we add statistician to Henry's job titles?
We really should.
I mean, it's not an official, like, patch or anything, but I feel like that could be a job title.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're adding statistician to Henry's job titles.
Perfect.
And
he says slim to none that he walks away.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Slim to none. Are you the hypothetical guy? And Carter says, no, I landed on him. So we get to Cafe DM, and Carl wanders in, and I'm wondering, is Vincent hosting, like, some date night pop-up thing going on? We've never seen Cafe DM looking this, like, classy.
It does look very schmancy.
The candles on the table. Vincent's wearing a bow tie.
Yes.
Like, it's date night. Lots of people just milling about. And Carl orders a beer. But Vincent doesn't serve him anymore.
Yes.
And he doesn't drink alcohol. But Carl's getting more and more confident.
But he doesn't serve him because he found a fly in his soup.
He
He
sensed a fly in
Yes.
his soup. And he's loosening up, and then he just goes over to Beverly and was like, thanks, Beverly. You helped me. La la la. And then kisses her.
Right on the lips.
Right on the face. And I mean, Beverly did encourage him to take risks.
Yes.
This was a risk.
It was something.
Because he was risking getting slapped without consent, man.
Right.
Like, no consent asked for. Needed.
No indication of what was going to happen.
None.
No indication of romance or feeling. Just kiss.
Just the kiss. Now, everybody around is going, I've always wanted to do that.
Would it?
No. Well,
someone said, like, who wouldn't? And I was like, we wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Although, you have to remember, they don't know she's evil. They don't know the depths of her depravity. And
True.
So, to them, she's a super hot, super smart redhead.
Who helps people.
Quote unquote. And so, like, yeah, if you're coming without the knowledge we have as an audience, then yeah, she's pretty hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose.
But even Vincent has thought about it.
Yes.
He said, which is funny to me. It's like, have you really, though?
Have you, Betty?
Then Carl, right after the smooch, just kind of confidently saunters out of Cafe DM, and he sees Stark.
Yes.
And he sees Stark, and he's mad at Stark, so he grabs a knife.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
But he isn't going to hurt Stark. He's grabbing the knife because he's showing off his healing powers.
Yes.
So when he says, oh, Stark, you're going to regret redacting me, it's because, like, look what I can do now.
Yeah, look what I've done.
Yeah.
On accident, but look what I've done.
Yeah. So then we head back to Carl's lab, and Stark even says, Carlson isn't a researcher anymore. He's the research.
Yes.
So he has made himself, basically, into a lab rat. And Fargo comes to covertly talk to Stark. And we end up back in Stark's office with some more artifact talk. It's just a short scene about the artifact. And then we get back to Carl's lab. Carl and Jack are kind of bonding a little bit. And Carl is telling him how he feels reborn.
Yes.
Not afraid anymore. But Carter has a good point. Isn't it fear that keeps you sharp? You know?
Isn't it fear that Yeah. Was that the quote?
Yeah. Isn't it fear that keeps you sharp? Like, if you're not afraid of anything, you're not going to be paying attention as much.
Pause. Are you seeing what's going on behind me?
Yeah. Neelix is
He's
just,
just chirping in my ear as he runs up, though.
yeah.
It's like running up and going, and then like running away. It's kind of making me feel crazy.
Where are we now?
I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah. Carl feels reborn.
Yes. Jack says, isn't it fear that keeps us alive?
And then we cut back to Sarah, back to the smart house, with Allison and Jack sitting there. The exam is over.
Mm-hmm.
He passed, because of course he did.
Right.
And Allie needs to wrap Jack's ribs.
Yes. And he's like, oh, no, it's fine.
Yeah. Oh,
And
no, I
Sarah's,
don't have
I
an
don't
ace
have an
bandage.
ace bandage. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do, Sheriff. It's upstairs in your gym bag.
She said, that's very disconcerting. And I'm really glad that they wrote disconcerting and not disconcerting.
Yes.
It's one of my least favorite mistakes.
But she says that a couple of times.
Yeah, she says
this episode.
Yes.
Yep. But so we get up to Jack's bedroom with the fire going, and she's wrapping his ribs all sexy.
All sexy like.
I mean, how can it not be sexy if Jack is topless?
Right.
Yet again. They keep doing this to me. This is they write Jack topless scenes specifically for me.
Yes. They're like, oh, Corinne's gonna watch this.
Corinne's gonna watch this. She's gonna want this. Yep. So Allie wraps the ribs, and the bed is so comfy.
Yes. It doesn't sound comfy, but it just sounds like a Tempur-Pedic bed.
Kind of. But if it's that comfy, I really want to lay on it.
Yeah, but you like your bed. Oh, you like super soft or
I like
super hard?
super soft.
Yeah, you would love it then.
Yeah. So Allie and Jack are in bed together.
And they wake up together.
And they wake up together.
And Zoe says, I win.
Well, I love first as they're laying down, Allie goes, all right, I'm getting up. And then doesn't move.
That's such a me thing to say.
And then it's morning. Yeah, it's so relatable. I even wrote in my notes, I'm like, this is what we do.
Yes.
In the car.
100%.
After
like,
second
here
breakfast.
I go. I'm on my way.
After second, we get back, we're sitting in the car, both looking at our phones. All right, we're getting out of the car now. Neither one of us moves.
Yeah, here I go.
Here we go. 5-10 minutes later. I guess we should. So then we don't get to morning yet, because we get to Carl's lab first.
Yes.
And he can't replicate the result except on himself.
Yes.
So he's really, really frustrated. He's mumbling to himself and trying to figure it out. And so then they get back to morning now, and Zoe sees Allie's purse. I win.
Yep.
So she was the one that bet on Allie.
Yes.
So good on you. Good on you, Zoe. And then back at Global Dynamics, Henry's badge changed. You notice that?
I did. Phlebotomist?
Yes. He got, no, not phlebotomist. Pathologist.
Pathologist, yes.
Pathologist. So we have an official edition of pathologist.
Yes.
So far this episode, we've gotten 2 additions to Henry's job titles, statistician and pathologist. And then we get to Carl's lab, who now we find out that Carl has developed telekinesis and a short temper.
Yes, they were talking about he's using the fullness of his brain.
Well, yeah, so now elsewhere at GD, they're talking about Carl's new telekinesis, and Henry starts talking about humans only use 10% of their brain. Science corner time!
Science corner!
We need like a little like stinger or something.
Yeah, just look at that page.
Science corner!
We do. We'll talk to our composer.
Yeah. So, science corner! So this whole we only use 10% of our brains thing is 100% a myth.
Yes. I was actually going to bring that up to you, and then I forgot to.
Yes, it is absolutely a myth. We use all of our brains all the time. If we didn't, we would be dead. And on MRIs and stuff, things would not light up like they do.
Correct.
So when we're in an MRI, our brains all light up. We use all of our brains. This is a myth that has been perpetuated by the media. Not just this show, but like Lucy,
Yep.
the movie,
And Limitless too, right?
and Limitless and things like that. So total myth. But what I found in my little Google search is that there are other myths that we have been led to believe about our brains that are not really true.
Okay.
Like the whole idea of left brain or right brained,
Yeah.
total myth.
Interesting.
Yeah. We all just use our brains.
Yeah, it's what the corpus callosum is for.
I'm looking at you
Science
with a
corner.
blank face.
So there are like the different like parts of your brain do like process different things, which is where left brain or right brain come from.
Right.
But there's a thing down the middle of your brain that connects the two sides, and I think it's called the corpus callosum. Let me look that up because I don't want to be wrong. That seems right. But it basically connects the two, and it bridges them, so you can use both sides.
Right.
And it's also, fun fact, when people, I was right, corpus callosum. It also is something that they will split for seizures. Like if someone's having seizures, sometimes splitting that will help.
Oh, well, that's good.
A little bit of my neuroscience background came in handy today.
You have a neuroscience background.
I do have a neuroscience background.
Wait. I have more brain myths, but I need to know more about this.
Actually, before I like decided to commit to an artistic lifestyle, I wanted to go into neuroscience. I was in neuroscience classes. I loved neuroscience.
This is another reason we're besties. We're both science nerds.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to go into a science in my youth.
Because I was going to go into psychology, and then I didn't want to do talk therapy. And I was so intrigued by like the physical workings of the brain, like the literal just how it works and how insane it is.
Yeah.
Insane in the membrane, if you will.
Insane in the brain.
But yeah, neuroscience always came super easy to me. I got an A in my college neuroscience class, and I didn't pay attention or go at all.
Oh, that's fun.
I just did well in it. I love the way the brain works, and I love the different parts of the brain. My AP psychology teacher, to teach us the brain, we made Play-Doh brains, and with each piece in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I could easily be like, yeah, the corpus callosum.
That's amazing, and I love it.
Thank you, Miss Knatzer.
So, I mean, you'll be able to probably confirm then these other myths that I wrote down. Another myth is that brain development is finished by puberty.
Oh yeah, absolutely false.
That's absolutely false. Our brains continue to develop, I believe, all through our lives.
Correct.
Brain function declines significantly in old age.
Correct.
I think that if there's a underlying medical reason, like say Alzheimer's or something like that, maybe brain function will diminish, but not just because of old age.
Right. I think like your body starts shutting down at old age, and that includes like your brain. But it's not like your brain. Yeah, I mean, we've all met someone that's like in their 90s and they're sharper than someone in their 20s. Like,
right. Listening to Mozart or classical music helps increase IQ or learning is also a myth.
That is a myth, yeah.
Which is a sad myth. I always liked that idea. Like,
but I mean, like, I think art in general increases IQ. I think the myth is probably just that it's only classical music.
Yeah, or that it's significant, or like, oh, well, if you can't pass your test, just listen to classical music while you study and you'll be fine. No, you still have to put the work in. So, yeah, that was my science corner. Know your brain, which you already do, apparently, that I never knew.
Surprise!
Surprise science! So then we head back to Carl's lab. I mean, skipping over the whole he's using 100% of his brain, and that's why he has telekinesis now. And I mean, we'll just chalk that up to suspension of disbelief. This is a TV show.
Yes.
All right. Sometimes we have to be reminded of that.
I want to believe that there's a part of the brain that is untapped and can, like, not untapped. Like, of course, we do use 100% of the brain that we have.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I don't believe this, but I would love to believe that if I worked hard enough, or my brain developed, or as humans we developed enough, that we could use the energy in our body to control other energy in the world.
That could be.
Yeah, I just love telekinesis, so I like to dream.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. A girl can dream.
A girl can dream, okay? about being able to get myself something without getting out of bed.
I mean, that is the dream.
It really is.
We need robots for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or telekinesis.
Or telekinesis.
Or telekinesis. So now we're back in Carl's lab, and Carl is doodling.
Mm-hmm.
He's doodling on his papers, and it's something that he can't get out of his head. And he has now developed telepathy.
Yes.
Because he's reading other people's thoughts.
Yes.
And he reads Stark's mind and realizes that Stark is also obsessed with this thing that he's doodling.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite parts of that scene is when he like just cocks his head to the side and goes, "You want to study me?" Like just the way he says it. Saul Rubinek is this actor, and he's been in other things, Warehouse 13 among them, and
he's an incredible actor.
He is an incredible actor, and I love Warehouse 13. So like it's funny when I watch this episode because all I can see is Artie from Warehouse 13. But he is an incredible actor. He's been doing such a great job this whole episode, but just the way he chose to say those words, I'm like, why are you so unintentional? Well, possibly intentionally, but why are you so funny?
Yes.
You know? So, but then we get back to Beverly's house, and Carl is going to Beverly for help because, you know, that's what you would do.
Right. You're overwhelmed with all these new things that's happening with you.
You're scared.
Yeah.
You don't understand the emotions.
Right.
So you go to your therapist. And his telepathy, though, then lets him know that he can't trust Beverly.
Yeah. And I thought that was really interesting. I liked that.
Yes. And then so he leaves. He scares her, and then he leaves, and we're on the streets of Eureka, and his telepathy is kind of driving him a bit crazy. Hearing everybody's thoughts kind of all at once.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of a Buffy episode, Earshot. Where she gets the aspect of the demon, and she can hear everybody's thoughts, and eventually it gets so overwhelming that she's going crazy. And so kind of the same deal.
Absolutely.
Here. This one's a little more sciencey than demony, but here we are.
Yep.
Carl is sort of outing Stark's Section 5 secrets when Stark shows up.
Yeah.
He's mentioning it for all to hear.
Yes.
And Stark is like, "Shut up!
Stop it.
Stop it!" But Stark wants to bring him back to GD, and Carl's like, "No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
You want to study me? You want to, make me a lab rat?" And Stark says, "Carl, you can't leave." And if this were not a family-friendly television show, I'm pretty sure he would have said, "The fuck I can't."
Right.
Fuck your guns.
Like, what do you think you're gonna do here?
Yeah, he throws telekinesis. He throws the guns out of the people's hands and deflects the energy beam to Carter.
Right into Carter's chest.
Right into Carter's sternum. His chest.
Sternum.
And he's not breathing. He's very, very hurt. And this is when Carl's like, "Oh, we got to get him back to GD. Let's go." Like, because Carl's a nice person.
Yeah,
and
he cares.
He's concerned about Carter, and
he didn't mean to hurt anybody.
Though he knows that it might be detrimental to himself, he knows that Carter needs help, like, now.
Right.
So he goes with, and Carl knows that he can help Carter, but knows that he needs to be closer to the artifact. So they bring Jack into Section 5, and Carl heals Jack.
Yes.
And then we get more Jack nipples. Jack nipples. But anyway, so they get Jack away to the infirmary, and Carl goes back to the artifact when everybody else's backs are turned. He shuts the door, goes back to the artifact. Stark, of course, is trying to tell him not to.
Right. Because it appears like Stark has no idea what the artifact does.
No, absolutely not. And while Stark is obsessed with the artifact and kind of like very driven about that, it's kind of showing his colors. He's like, "Carl, no, don't do this," because he cares about him as a human. So we see a little bit of Stark's human side here. But then he just says, "I have to know."
Yeah.
What is it? And Carl says, "One day you will know, but will you be ready?" I am. And then Carl merges with the artifact?
Yeah, he becomes like like it seems like there's energy from the artifact and like
Yeah.
his energy is just one with the artifact now.
Yeah. You don't really know exactly what happened to Carl, but it feels like his energy went home,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So
Definitely the vibe I got.
and then we get to back to and I mean that's kind of the conclusion of Carl's arc right
Mhm.
there. But of course it's not the end of the episode yet. So we head back to Sarah and there's a misdirect conversation.
Yes. A classic misdirect.
Are you sure you want to do this? Let's
Well,
take the risk.
yeah, I don't want you to do it and then regret it cuz I made you do it.
Yeah. And they're sitting there and they're fully clothed, so it's obviously not like
Yeah, they're sitting next to each other
yeah.
like shoulder to shoulder.
Like what are they talking about here? And then we're going to get Carter insured.
Yes.
We can't let fear run our lives, and then they give each other knowing looks. It's very flirty.
It's so flirty.
I
They're always so flirty.
never before has signing insurance paperwork been so flirty
No, never.
in my knowledge,
I think that might be the only time.
possibly in the history of ever.
Yes.
So he signs the paperwork after a little hesitation still, but he signs the paperwork, so he is insured. And then we head back to Nathan's office, and he is still obsessed.
Yep.
That's pretty much the end of the episode. Nathan is still obsessed with this artifact, and we will continue on from there.
We will. Neelix just landed on Cass, by the way.
He does that.
I watched it happen. I watched Neelix plan it. Like he aimed for him.
No. Why are you a jerk, Neelix?
It's like I landed next to him, Mom.
No, okay. Let's not have Kitty Cat Fight Club next to the computer. Thanks. All right, Maddie. I have a game for you.
I'm ready.
Smash or pass? Carl Carlson.
Pass.
Yeah, pass. I'll have a beer with him.
Yeah,
I'll have a beer with him,
absolutely.
but not smash.
No.
Allison telling you to drop your pants.
Smash.
Just because everybody else seems to want to in this episode, Beverly.
Pass.
Always pass, but like I said, I kind of get it from their perspective.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. All right. Getting a physical.
Pass.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems time consuming.
Getting insurance. Smash.
Getting health insurance.
Was that your next question?
Yeah.
Nice.
You read my mind, Maddie. I didn't have many for Smash or Pass this week. We didn't meet a whole lot of new characters.
Being invincible. Smash or pass?
Ooh. Smash.
Yeah.
Smash. I mean, who's
Absolutely.
going to pass on that?
Right.
I mean, some people might like go the Carter route and be like, oh, but it's fear that keeps us sharp and I want to stay sharp. But no, who's not going to be invincible if they have a
Right.
chance?
My question for you is what would you do differently in life if you were invincible?
Well, I would ignore like the safety problems at work.
We do anyway.
I'd be standing on top of all kinds of stuff to get my photos.
We do anyway.
I mean, true. What else would I do? I don't know that I would do a whole lot differently. Just because I don't do or feel the need to do dangerous things a lot.
Yeah. I think my answer would come with like too many questions that like I would need answers to. Like, do I heal faster? Like, is my pain tolerance different? Does my body perform differently?
Right.
Like, do I have more endurance because of this? Like,
when I wake up after sleeping wrong, will my back just fix itself right away?
I hate getting older. When I wake up, will I actually have energy for the first time in 20 years?
So you haven't had energy when you wake up since you were 10?
Correct.
Oh no.
You're telling me people wake up with energy?
Weird people.
That tracks.
Although I think we have established in this podcast that all people are weird.
It's true.
Oh, one more thing before we go.
Mm-hmm.
Vince made us presents.
I love presents.
This
Oh, look
one's
how
for
cute.
you. And then he made me this one.
I love this. I like it.
And it will, if you like, hold a pen.
Ooh.
We'll have to post a picture on our Instagram of these.
Yes.
But yeah,
That's awesome.
Vince, for those who can't see it, and you'll see a picture on Instagram, but it is 3D print of the global dynamics pyramid. It's not exact, of course, but it'll hold a pen, and it's really, really cute, and I love it.
It's amazing.
So I will take pictures of these before you leave, and we'll post it to Instagram when this episode goes up.
Absolutely. I almost dropped mine. It's fine. I got excited.
It's fine. It's 3D printed. They're not fragile.
That's true. Love it.
Yeah.
Good job, Vince.
Good job, Vince. They're cool. So I think with that, we should tell the people how to find us.
Madi and Rin are a pair of best friends and photographers. We have no affiliation with Sci-Fi Channel or the producers of Eureka.
This podcast is for fun, and everything we say is our own opinion and thoughts. Nothing is official. Email us at youshouldwatchpod1@gmail.com. That's youshouldwatchpod, the number 1, @gmail.com.
Find and follow the show on Instagram at You Should Watch Podcast, all one word.
Find and follow Maddie on Instagram at Anna Madison Photography, all one word, and find her on the web at annamadisonphotography.com.
Find and follow Rin on Instagram at Rin Photo Studio, all one word, and find Rin on TikTok at Wonderin. That's WONDERRIN. Be warned that the TikTok is scattered and ridiculous and contains lots of cats.
A big, big thank you to John Eric Copeland for the use of his song written for this podcast as the intro and outro for this show.
John Eric Copeland is the founder of From the Moment Music at fromthemomentmusic.com. Thanks for listening.
Bye, besties!